Hello, I'm going to do a review today of some violin tuning pegs. They're by Knilling, spelt with a K, Knilling. Reason I'm going to do this is that I've had a bad experience with them. I don't want it all to be negative, so I'll go through a few things first. It's a bit dark in here. Now you can see on my A string I've got a temporary wooden peg in there because the Knilling geared planetary peg literally sheared apart the mechanism. I don't know if you can see that. And it was a real pain to get this end out. Potentially damaging the instrument. Right, the reason I got these was because I'd done a bit of research, and it seems that the way the violin was designed, it's claimed that it's works at its full potential if there's no fine tuners here, because it shortens the string length. Whether that's true or not, I'm not sure, but it could be true. And this particular nice light ebony tailpiece certainly made a difference, and I wanted than a heavy one which I had on. I could hear the difference, and I'd done quite a lot of research into different strings, and so I'd like to say some positive things about stuff. The strings I've got on at the moment seem to suit this instrument very well, and I've tried a lot of steel strings and gut strings and all sorts of combinations, but at the moment I've got a Hill gauge 27E, a Varshal or Russian A, or Warshal or how you pronounce it, and then a silver heavy gauge Parastro Olive D, and a heavy gauge Parastro Olive G. And that seems to work for this instrument. And things do make a difference. I know, for example, the wooden chin rest makes a difference to the sound. But yeah, so I found that bit out of tune. So the idea is to get on with this review, but I was just illustrating that the setup I've got really suits this. I wanted so I thought also that the Knilling pegs would help with the fine tuning. Basically, they screw into the wood. You have to ream out a bit of the wood on the peg because they're quite thick, or they were thicker than the pegs that I had in before. And just going to pause the video for a minute because someone's coming in. Right, okay, so just had to move because people are coming into the room. Yeah, so continuing the review, basically these Knilling pegs, and there's another make, Wickner, that do the same thing. They're quite expensive, I think it's something like £98. I bought them from the String Zone online shop, who I buy many things from. You know, they're a good shop. I'm not faulting them, but yeah. So basically, this ideally you get this done by a luthier. This bit remains stationary in the sides of the peg box, and the middle bit turns, and it's geared. So I'll illustrate. I'll turn this one now. So I thought that might help a little with tuning. I think with gut and synthetics, it perhaps doesn't turn them quite enough, as much as I'd like. So it makes it a little bit awkward because they're quite elastic. I think they're good with steel strings, so I'm not totally knocking the idea or them at all. There has been geared pegs around for a long time. Tommy Jarrell, the great Appalachian mountain fiddler, he had geared pegs that were kind of they looked a bit more like double bass pegs. But anyway, I've had these on for 2 years, and as I say, the mechanism inside is literally sheared apart. Now for £98 I'd expect a lot better. Every time you remount the holes to the pegs, it weakens the peg box a little bit, so it's quite a common injury on the fiddle to have a cracked peg box from pressure pushing them in. So that's another thing, wear and tear. I will try and get a refund, but where to go from now I don't know, because either I'll have to fit standard pegs at the expense of a luthier, or the expense of the tools, or hopefully Knilling will replace that. But after this experience, I don't really know whether I want to go in that direction anymore. So think twice before you buy these geared planetary pegs. It might be that it was just a faulty peg and it's a one-off, because the theory behind it's a very good idea. It's just also, I know someone who's had them fitted who thought that it changed her instrument's sound for the worse slightly. So I can't say that with this. I don't think it changed the sound. But then, of course, putting the pegs on also lengthened this, because it had 4 fine tuners, so it's a bit of give and take. Anyway, I hope this has been useful to someone, and yeah, if something sounds good with your instrument, don't mess with it.